Welcome to the Founder Fumbles podcast, where we dig deep into real life entrepreneur struggles and comeback strategies. My hope is for entrepreneurs to learn how to bounce back from real entrepreneurs that have real problems. I'm your host, Dahmari Taplin, and we have Kolade, aka
You say.
Bank.
Love it. Nice, nice. You didn't have to be shy of saying that.
How you say your last name again?
Adekoya.
Adekoya. So where's that from?
I'm Nigerian, man.
Nigerian. Okay.
You already know.
How long have you been in the United States?
Man, I just know that I came here end of 2011, December actually. So do that math, I think almost 15 years.
Right. Yeah. Okay. CEO of Bookt, what's that like? How's it? How do you feel? Like, how's the business going? Like, how's everything going? I heard you got like $2 million in revenue. What's going on with that?
Not yet. It's not 2 million yet, but I think we surpassed 1 million early April, and now we've, kind of like, when you first start the business, you don't know how, it takes you a long time to think of getting your first million. And then now we're approaching that other million again faster than however we did the first 1 million.
So it's 1 million, not 2 million.
Not 2 million.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but we're going to get there soon though.
So how did you get, what does that 1 million in revenue look like? How much, first of all, how much of that did you get? You know what I mean? I only try to get, if you want to tell me all your business, you don't have to, but like that 1 million, you don't got no job, book this shit,
Full time. Honestly, as a founder, you get paid the least. Everything right now is really like digging deep into the problem and continue to iterate on that, and then making sure the team members are good. So I didn't quite get paid a lot. I most times even forget to pay myself. You know what I mean? But that's a broader conversation, because I've learned that as a founder, like, you should also be paying yourself. But I think I'm just so focused on the mission that I neglect myself sometimes.
So, I saw you, before the interview, I saw that you were on your LinkedIn, that you got all this Scrum Master stuff.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a Scrum Master is, if I'm going to be completely honest. Like, what is a Scrum Master, and how did that lead you to become like the CEO of Bookt, or if it did,
Yeah, I mean, before even being a Scrum Master, right, which I'll say what that is shortly, I have technical background. Computer science was my first degree, and so that laid the foundation. But I just felt like, writing code every time just became too monotonous and too repetitive, and I'm just a creative person, and so the Scrum Master is basically you managing technical teams, right? So
okay.
Yeah.
Damn. So I was like a Scrum Master.
You could say that, but it's a little bit more technical than just like managing them. It's like a framework where you're helping them be agile. You're helping them actually build in increments and stuff like that, right? So, like, my technical skills and just that people management came together to say, like, now I'm building my own company. This is how I roll with the technical side, and this is how I roll with the people management side. So it's been the best of both worlds, really.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I also saw that you had like a music video, man. You a musician? Like, how long you been doing music?
You dug deep. I paused it for a while because, like, the founder dilemma is like when you're trying to figure out what is that thing, what is product market fit, what will people pay for.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately, you have to put your other superpowers, on the low. But yeah, like, music was always my, first love. That was something that I did for therapy. I released music professionally under my artist name and my middle name, Bank, right? But yeah, music.
So Bank is a musician name?
No, it's my middle name. But
it's a middle name.
I made that my official artist name, right? But music, I paused for like 2 years now, just because, like, just being a founder, it needs just so much focus from you and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right. So what's the song that you want people to go check out? You know, what's your favorite song? What you think?
Listen, just go on streaming platforms.
But what's your favorite one? What's your favorite song that you did?
I'm biased right now. I promise. Like, so I'm gonna tell you everything, but I have a deep discography. I released EPs, albums, and you can just find me under BVNKA. And yeah, I think there's something for everyone. But if you're asking me if my favorite one, I'm gonna tell you everything because I put my heart and soul into it.
So your latest one? What's your latest song?
I haven't released in like 2 years.
Oh, 2 years?
I can't remember.
No, I just saw one. You was like laying in the bed like this or something like that.
That one was already recorded a long time ago. I've not even released that.
Because you just dropped the album.
No.
You dropped the album.
It's 2 years.
Okay, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you made it 2 years ago, but you just recently dropped the album?
I'm saying like the video you're seeing, I recently dropped that, but that was recorded a while back.
Okay.
You know, but as far as like any project, EP, or album, that was literally like 2 years ago.
So when was the last time you was in the booth?
Using what?
When was the last time you was in the booth, like recording? When was the
last month. I still kind of like
so
do that. It's therapy for me. It's I might not release the music, but it's just like a way to get out of my head. Right. You know.
So let's get back to Bookt for a second. You know, Bookt is a one-stop shop for event organizers.
Yeah.
You know, we know like your competition is like Eventbrite, right?
Yeah.
But do you consider anybody else your competitors, or what really makes you different from Eventbrite, Bookt? I mean, not Bookt, Eventbrite and Meetup. I think there's other competitors.
Yeah, Meetup is one of them.
Yeah. What makes you different?
First of all, you asked for competitors. I'll drop some names.
Okay.
Luma is one for professional events. Mm-hmm. So you might see corporate people using that, more companies. And then Posh is another one that...
Oh, yeah, I remember. I know
we're competing with. Shout out to them. They're doing their thing. And I'm trying to find the best way to say this without like putting out our secret sauce. But I think honestly, like we say that Bookt is not a ticketing platform. It's a marketing engine for serious event curators. And when I say serious, you've been hosting events for the past 5 to 10 years. You know how to promote, you've acquired data, and you just want to unlock more potential. And the reason why Bookt is special, or the home like for a couple of event curators now, and why people should come to us, is that one, we give you 10 hours back on average per event. Who doesn't want time back? It's stressful just hosting an event, talk less of like just dealing with the technology part. And then genuinely, we optimize for sending out your event before the day of the event, right? And the metric that we track internally is, if you're really promoting your event, can we help you turn 10%, which is huge, of whatever outreach you're doing into paid?
I noticed that.
Paid efforts.
I noticed that because I booked a couple of your events, and you always have like that early bird thing, you know what I mean? Where you can kind of go for free if you go, but you have to go early.
Yeah. So that's not us. That's just the model of the industry.
Okay.
Creating, it's offering, right? You're offering people like early bird, general admission tier 1 is $10, general admission tier 2 is $15 based on where they're selling out. But the work that we do is under the hood, right? Dahmari is hosting an event. You are marketing to 1,000 people. How can we optimize that you convert 10% of those, 1,000 people into sales and paid tickets? So that's all of the marketing work is under the hood, right? So to simply put that, Bookt is not a ticketing platform, it's a marketing engine for seasoned event curators. And our goal is to give them time back to, make money from their passion and make more money than any other platform. And it's never been more true. It's something we measure every day, and like the people that are doing the work are like getting the value of what we're actually promising them.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not even saying this just because you're my boy. We both Access Mode alumni. But Bookt looks fantastic. It looks.
We try.
It looks better than all of them. You know what I mean? And
All of them. Which one are you familiar with?
I'm just talking about Eventbrite and fucking Meetup,
Yeah.
you know, and the other ones, you know, whatever, they just look really basic, but yours like looks and feels good, you know.
We try.
And I get promotions to the events that matter to me. They're not sending me all the other stuff that that means nothing to me, you know. I go to the events that I want to go to because they come straight to my email, and I'm like, babe, you want to go to this one? She's like, sure. You know what I mean? That's just how it works out. But anyway, I want to ask you about, you are a solo, a single, traveling entrepreneur. Like every time, you don't even live here. I hit you up today for this podcast, yo.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, like I had somebody call out on me. Do you want to pop? You was just like, yeah, man, I'll be there in an hour. And I'm like, what? You don't even live here, yo.
Yeah.
Like how's that? How is that like? How often are you jumping from state to state? Like, how is it like just being, I want to know about your living situation. You know what I mean? Like, just talk a little bit about that.
I think there has to come to a point where every founder does that introspective of like, where's your business? What's going to drive that? And it was around late 2023, early 2024 for me, where I kind of was like, if I want people to trust me with their business and their events, I have to make them trust me. And part of making them trust me is like being on the ground for that event, right? And sometimes what being on the ground means for me is like just going there even before they become my customers and helping them. Meeting with the people hosting the event, like, hey, like, love what you're doing. How's it going? What can I support with? Before even talking about my business. And then everything follows. But it's become a lifestyle now, right? Where like when people list on our platform, my bad, I have to kind of like show up at their first event just to see how the technology is going. And so I think last year I traveled about 30 something times. I didn't even realize, but Uber was tracking that for me because every time I landed at an airport, I'm booking an Uber, and then at the end of the year, they went like, you've taken 30 something trips, and I've kind of like done, I don't know, maybe 15 this year already, which means that I might be over 30 this year. But it's really like just going there, seeing what they're experiencing, and even experiencing the product. How are people interacting with that? What does this Bookt technology mean? Like, we know what it means, right? How is it helping people at the events and stuff, right? So that's the why. And I think obviously I'm a single bachelor right now, so helps that I don't have to worry about kids, I don't have to worry about a partner. I'm able to like book my flight at impulse and just go to these events. And it's the hardest thing, right? Because like it's context switching. Today I'm in Texas, tomorrow I have to be in San Francisco, next tomorrow I have to be in Dallas and stuff like that, right? So it's a lot to deal with when you're kind of like switching context in terms of like time zone, in terms of like even the events and stuff like that. And in a way, it's switching the way I see events. Like before, I go to events to enjoy events. And now I go to events to work, right? I could be the door person at an event today and say, oh my God, like I just need to help them scan people in. And then tomorrow, I'm just like helping them organize the lines and stuff like that, right? So now it's just become like work, and when I do find those events that I actually want to go, I think I have like a newfound respect for them. Like you see the back end, you see what it takes to actually like market the event to bring people out. Day of event operations, after event operations and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the reason why I started doing that. And just the mindset is like, I gotta go. A lot of the times, because when a founder, you have to be frugal with your spending. If it's a city where no people, hey, I'm gonna be in your city, can I couch surf? Or can I stay in your apartment? And sometimes it's like Airbnbs and stuff like that. But it's definitely, life on the road is like really hard. Yeah.
No, man. To be honest, I think that's really brilliant of you. And I can respect that because it shows that you really care, for your customers. Like you're not just booking something on my platform. You know, you show up. That's huge.
Yeah.
That is huge.
And I didn't even know how much impactful it was until some of those people will be like you actually show up. You're not being bougie or anything. Like sometimes you're helping us move.
Exactly.
Sometimes you're dragging stuff.
And
for me, it's really like putting in the work. You know. Yeah, I don't know how much longer I'll be able to do that for because like when you're scaling, honestly, you cannot be at every event.
Yeah, it's gonna be so many things happening at once.
Yeah, so I think that's becoming like a reality more every day. Like, how do you choose the event that you're gonna be at? But also, one of the people that kind of like got me into that mindset is the founder of Lyft. He would go, I think, once every quarter or once every year to drive Lyft to see how people perceiving the product, what's broken. Like, if I'm telling people, oh, let's build this stuff, let me experience it myself. And for me, I think that's a mindset I'm going to carry for a long time in terms of like, how are people truly interacting with this product? And not just sitting in an office or sitting at home and just like, oh, we need to build this and stuff, you know? So that's where that mindset really came from.
Yeah. So what about like, you know, you single out here, man? Like, are you looking for somebody? Because I know you tried to tell me something about some ladies the other time. Like, you was like, oh man, ladies want this. I'm like, dude, you single? Like, are you like you looking? You like know what you want from a girl? And like, I know for me, when I was traveling the world, you know, I've been over 26 countries. I've lived in 3 countries now. But you know, I couldn't find a woman until I sat my ass down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's the reality, you know. Obviously, I know what I want. But I'm also in this mind space of like, when you're looking for it, it might not necessarily look for you, right? And I get the whole idea of like, you have to be intentional if you really want something. But honestly, like, I know what I want. I just think that where I'm at now makes it just really difficult. Like, one, you're not only traveling a lot, you're also an entrepreneur, and like, women don't want something to compete with the attention you give them, right? So sometimes in the middle of a date or in the middle of like having a heart-to-heart with a woman that I really like, by the way, is like, listen, I have to take this call, and I don't know how long that call is gonna last. It's just like, for example, like you and I spoke, the next minute I was on a customer call that lasted almost an hour. And imagine leaving a woman on hold. It starts to be like, you know, does this person care? Meanwhile, you really do care. It's just like, that's what needs to be done at that moment. So I'm looking and I'm not looking. Like, if the right person comes, right, and there's just a mesh, cool. But I'm not going to force it, if you get what I mean. It's like, I think any woman that's going to date an entrepreneur needs to understand what she's getting herself into. Needs to understand that the early days is going to be a lot of sacrifices. You guys might not have 10 date nights. You might only get 1 date night, actual date night in a quarter. But how can you make the best out of that? And it's really hard, you know? So I'm not forcing it. If it comes anytime soon, cool. If it doesn't, you know, I'm comfortable with you know, how I'm at right now.
You touched on so many topics right there. I'm not even going to get into it.
Hey, it's deeper than it's deep.
Because, you know, I'm a whole married man, you know what I'm saying? And being an entrepreneur while you're married, you know, it's just like you have to choose, like, you really have to balance your life, especially, like, I'm not even going to get into that because we gonna stay focused here. Relationship stuff don't even matter. But, hey, if for the ladies out there, if you're looking for a single entrepreneur, I'll have my boy Kolade.
No, you shooting your shot with me right now.
You know what I'm saying? What's your Instagram handle? Let them know your Instagram handle real quick.
BVNK_official. Yeah, you find me there.
BVNK_official.
Yeah.
My boy Kolade. Okay, cool. So let's talk about some Founder Fumbles, some real dope Founder Fumbles. Tell us about a time where you felt like giving up, you know, when things got like real hard. You was just like, man, do I keep going?
Damn, that's a deep question. I think like that feeling comes up every now and then, like, to be frank, right? I think one of the most recent one was, our customers did not know this, but under the hood, we had a bug, right? And this bug was very simple, but it took us like what am I talking about? It took us 24 hours in real time. I and two other engineers looking like, what is going on? We just could not see it in the moment. And it was just crazy. And for me, like, I was already sweating. I was like literally almost crying, saying that if we don't resolve this before our customers wake up, because we had already been partially out on the app for 24 hours. And I was just managing expectations with the event curators, like, hey, people can still buy tickets. It's just your organizer app that is down, right? But it's like once it lingers past 24 hours, they're not able to have certain edit functions and stuff like that. And I was just like, this is gonna be crazy. Because it's like the true reality. Like, people are more forgiving of the bigger companies. But like when you're a smaller company, they're looking for reasons to actually leave, right? No matter how you tell them and stuff. So that was real. And I told them, I was like, if we don't get this back up by 7 a.m. Eastern time, then I'm going to have to write an email that says that unfortunately we cannot support. I don't know if that pressured the team, but shortly after I said that, when I say shortly, like 30 minutes to 45 minutes, we literally figured out what was happening.
You made them feel the pressure.
But it wasn't like an inflated, it was the reality, Other times it's been like when you're running an event platform, you almost sort of have to have a mini bank for payouts. But on the outside, it just looks like people are selling tickets, you're paying them out. We literally are running like a mini treasury / bank under the hood where like we're managing people's money that comes in, managing a ledger for when the money is going out. And, one time, one of our payment partners actually was holding money. It was a lot of money for a small business or a small startup at the time. And people were trying to get access to their money. And we were just like, hey, we can't pay you right now because we're resolving some issues with our payment partner. And that was like a real reality of like, these people are going to be like, my money is not safe. I need to take my money out. I need to take my business out. So things like that, it's majorly around like money issues or just severe downtime issues. Like if you're in the event industry, you know how much, on sale uptime, it's super important. Like your app not coming down, people trying to buy tickets and your server is like really down. So yeah, those were some of the like real reality shaking moments. But I think as you grow, you also need to confront the fact that like these things happen with other companies, but it's more how you communicate it with your customers and how can you make them feel comfortable that you're actually handling that, right? In hindsight, I feel like letting our customers know that, hey, truthfully, the app is down, not letting people reach out to us individually, like, oh, what's going on? Communicate in real time. Our app is partially down. We're trying to get you back in 48 hours or whatever time, but people are still able to buy tickets. If you have further questions, message our back office and support, right? In hindsight, that's how I would have handled that, But as a founder, it's like everything kind of like tweaks you off. You're like, damn, like this is happening.
You hate when things go wrong, right? Because you want everything, you want to put all your money into this, and you expect things to go perfectly. But the worst part about it is that the mistakes that happen is not usually like it's not usually your fault, but you have to be the one to fix it, right? So that's the hardest part. But so what's like, if you could think of one time that almost just broke you down, like your lowest moment, you know what I mean? What you think that was?
I mean, it's always going to be a thing. It's like fundraising as a founder is like, it breaks your soul. You're looking and you're like,
I'm almost out of money.
Yeah, we're doing all this traction. The business is like unfortunately at a tight corner because you can't keep thriving on vibes and creativity, right? And you reach out, and investors are always like, we're looking for traction and stuff, and you're even showing them that at the stage you are at, you're doing a certain traction, and you're just getting like, the runaround, or just kind of like a no that doesn't make sense. And then it makes you feel like, are you even building anything? Are you solving any problem, right? So that breaks me every time when I reach out to investors. And it's like, now I don't even want to do that anymore. I don't want to reach out to investors anymore. Like, I can't even bring myself to compose an investor outreach anymore. It's like, I have a list, I need to share. And I'm like, what is the point of doing that? Even though, like, we know that, like, a lot of companies are raised, had to reach out to 100, 300 and stuff. But I think, like, when it's happening to you in real time, it just almost breaks your soul because, like, you know that what you're doing works. Right? But when you're hearing too much no's, it's just like, what's going on here? And for me, like, I don't want to hear that many no's. That makes me feel like I'm not achieving anything.
It makes you question your purpose.
Yeah, it does.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, have you ever questioned your purpose, but you just answered it? Like, all the no's, you know what I mean? All of that real struggle, and it just really makes you question your purpose. Like, why am I even doing this? Am I ever going to be able to climb out of this hole? You know what I mean? That's just what it feels like. You know what I mean? So it's like, I got a question. Like, is there like a person, you know what I mean, that like keeps you going? Like, do you have like a nephew or a son or anything like that? I mean, like, you have kids.
No kids out of wedlock, nothing. It's not really a person. It's really me. It's just like, I know why I started this, and what keeps me going is the fact that I don't ever want to write an email that says that unfortunately we tried on this mission and we failed. So that's,
you gotta prove like that to yourself that you can do this, right?
So it's really me. There's no person. It's really just me because I hate the concept of like starting something that I actually set out and not finishing it. There's something about that just like, it's a nightmare. And unfortunately, like, I go on LinkedIn, I see people shutting down their companies and they're saying like, we tried, even after raising millions of dollars, right? But I don't ever want to get to that point where like, I'm writing a public post and say, hey, thank you all for your support. We tried to do this. And unfortunately, like, we just couldn't, like, I think that's gonna break me in a way that I can't explain,
It's like,
so it's about that.
It's like giving up on your marriage in a way. It's like you marry somebody and now you're like, man, I'm sorry, I know I said that I was going to give this my all, but I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, we just can't give up. You know what I mean? Just keep pushing. But no, I feel you though. Like, for me, it's just like, my people. It's just like my mom. I want to retire my mom. You know what I mean? Like, cause she's been a single mother her whole life. You know what I'm saying? So I want to retire my mom. And I want to give my wife everything she deserves, And I want to also prepare my kids to grow up with, with a great dad. I'm going to be a great dad regardless. I don't have any kids now, but, I just want to get to that point. Like, it's just like my mom, my wife, my future kids. That's my people. And I also have that same thing as you. Like, I got to prove to myself. So, that's good. So, being an entrepreneur, what is like one thing that, you wish you knew earlier? You know what I mean? Before, if it was like right now, if you can go back from the start and tell yourself something, what would you think that would be?
I mean, like, the word that comes to my mind now is like, and it drives me a lot, is in service, right? I know, like, just saying that word does not mean anything, but like, as a founder, I found that like I'm in service, right? And
Do you mean like the more service you provide, the more you get?
no, in service, and I'm going to explain what that means, right? It's like a lot of people start with their own idea and get married to their ideas, right? And I'm not saying that that's not the way to start. What I'm saying is like, if you test what you set out to do and it's not really working out, right? The whole goal of building a company is to provide service to people, right? So why that really anchors me is like, yeah, this is the way I'm thinking about it. I want to provide, I want to be in service to people. It's not working that way, right? Maybe I need to change how I approach it, right? So if I were to rewind time, it's like the way I started Bookt is not what it is today. I wish I quickly was like, hey, it's not working. Let's go back to the drawing board. What do we think the problem is, right? What does the market want? What do the people want? And turning that into a solution, which was what we eventually like went back to do, but time was already like far spent.
Yeah.
Right, and I see that a lot where like people are just married to their idea the way they thought about that.
Okay, I got you.
And they're not willing to
adjust,
open.
to adjust to what the customer wants.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's the same thing for myself. You know, it's just like, you know, as far as like, if I could go back and tell myself something in the beginning, it's just like, be open, like first get the feedback from the customers and adjust to what they want.
Yeah.
This app that you're building has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
Because you can't pay yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to make it, you know, ready for the person that's going to pay you some money.
Yeah.
And that first person that actually buys it is like the main person you need to spend some time with, because they can see your vision like way down. Okay, this company is about to do exactly what I need them to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my bad for cutting you off.
Nah, it's like, but also it's like, I think unfortunately, a lot of people set out to build something for their personal problems, even though they're saying that I'm building this for people. So there's a disconnect. And the way I say it is like, my thought is an hypothesis, right? It might stem up from my personal problem, but it's now an hypothesis. How many people are dealing with this thing the way I'm dealing with it, right? Or experiencing it the way I'm experiencing it, right? If I'm thinking about it as this is a solution, who else feels like that? Right? And test that, right? And so for me, I think the moment I change that mindset, and it's still the mindset that I have, like even when we're building something, like when customers come to me and they're having this problem, my first initial rebuttal to that is like, how do you solve that today, right? And you'd be surprised how many people cannot answer that, right? Because like they have this idea, I think you should build this into the app, blah, 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 blah. Cool, that's fine, like happy to evaluate that, but what does that solve for you? And they're just like, quiet. Oh, actually, I thought he was just going to do that. When you actually go through what they're saying, it really doesn't solve any problem, right? Or I'm like, oh, have you ever thought about this and stuff, right? So if I were to rewind time, it's like, just listen more to my target demographics and, just listen more, really.
Yeah, that's dope. That's brilliant, So one of my last things I want to ask you is just like, do you believe in the law of attraction? Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I know, like...
Do you believe in the law of attraction?
Somewhat, like, but carefully, though.
Carefully.
I think a lot of people think because you carry this mindset of, like, I'm going to get this, then I'm going to get that. No, there has to be some ancillary work that goes to you getting that stuff. You can't just, like, manifest something without putting in work, right? So my law of attraction is I would get this, but I got to do these things to ensure that I always position myself. Because like time and, preparation, right, brings opportunities, right? And I know people are always like the law of attraction, but if you look at the people that actually like attracted something, they were prepared for that thing that they attracted.
Yeah.
you can't say that I'm going to attract something and not just put yourself in the best place for that, right? So my law of attraction is with a caveat. Like, I also have to prepare for that thing that's coming.
No, I just love to ask people that question is to get their perspective on like the law of attraction and just to make sure that you at least are aware of it. Because if you didn't know about the law of attraction, I was going to tell you about it today. But no, you answered my question. That was great.
Yeah.
So do you have like any like daily routines or anything that you do to help keep you focused and stuff like that? You have any daily routines?
The gym, man, is like
The gym.
yeah, gotta hit the gym. No, and also like I have a new mindset towards like going to the gym because a lot of people just go to the gym and they're doing the wrong thing. They're going for hours. Meanwhile, your body stops like responding to workout after a certain time frame, right? I had to actually like study how the gym works for your body, right? And to understand that like within the time frame I have, within the lifestyle I have, how can I still do this without not wasting time? So like I go to the gym every other day, and when I'm really feeling down as a founder, like I just really
Go hard.
snap out of that and be like, if I can make it to the gym, I'm gonna make it through the day. But even before that, it's like God first. Like I gotta pray. I'm feeling down. Take it to God. In prayers, like I do need clarity. And then I hit the gym and stuff like that.
So pray. And
First.
So pray first.
Yeah.
First. That's why I said pray. And into the gym.
Yeah.
Solid. Love those. I do both of those. Pray every day. I hit the gym every other day.
Every other day.
Every other day I hit the gym.
Every other day.
I was doing every day for a while, but now it's definitely every other day.
Hey, time management, man.
Yeah, for sure. So what advice would you give these new founders today that's becoming entrepreneurs?
Go read the Mom Test.
Mom Test?
Yes.
It's a book called The Mom Test?
Yes.
Who's that by?
I can't remember the author, but it's a book. Anybody that tells me that
The Mom Test. I never heard of it.
they're starting, I tell them to go read the Mom Test first.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about to be here telling you how to validate your idea or how to have the best listening skills. I used to do that before.
Is the Mom Test a small book?
Yeah, it's a small.
I think I actually read the Mom Test.
Yeah.
It's about like not getting advice from people that's like too close to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then also how to like really like ask open-ended, non-biased questions.
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
I remember that.
And that book actually like it changed things for me. That's it. Like read that book first.
Yeah.
I feel like every other thing would like really follow. Like once you're able to listen, every other thing like starts to become better. Like you could literally go from 3 years of figuring it out to a few weeks or months of figuring it out. Truthfully, read the Mom Test is what I tell them first, and then never be married to your idea. Like be open to change, and then truthfully, like customer obsession. Like in the beginning, you might not have customers, but there are, like people that you see as like your ideal customers. Like be obsessed with like how they do things. Ask them questions. Again, you're listening and listen objectively. Because truthfully too, like you can listen far to the right where like you're just listening to everybody. Like at Bookt, we just don't build every single thing, right? There are things that don't align with our fundamental beliefs, right? And so if you propose that, we're just like, hey, like thank you for the feedback, but it really doesn't align. Or thank you for the feedback, we're going to evaluate it. We never promise that we're going to do everything that everybody says, right? But when we do collect that feedback, we're like saying that, what does this help you achieve? And then we're like, okay, let's review this internally and see how it aligns and stuff. So that's where like listening objectively, right, is quite important. And like just focus on the mission, man. The days it's gonna be really hard, and be ready to give it 10 hours. And if you have a relationship before, it's better because like that person already knows you, understands you before this phase. And I think that that's where I wish that I kind of like did things a bit better, right? It's not like I didn't have like relationships before, but in terms of like having a life partner, I didn't prioritize that before starting my company, right? And if you're planning to have a partner after you start a startup or becoming a founder, be ready. And honestly, there's a difference between like a startup founder and a small business owner. I need to say that they're truthfully so different. The mindset is different. Someone that's building like a nightclub, they're expecting to start seeing like returns on investment 3 months into the business. You are doing a startup and saying that like this might not even make money for the next 10 years. It might be growing in other capacities, and it takes a different mindset. And someone might stick with you while building a restaurant, right? Someone might stick with you while building a liquor store, a spa. But it's harder for that person to stick with you while building like a startup because sometimes you're literally trying to figure out what works in the first 2 years. You might be building, but you're trying to figure out like, let's build this, to test this, let's do that, to A/B test. And that's really hard, so yeah, that would be my advice. Like if you want a life partner, prioritize that before you start building. Read the mom test. This would apply for people that are building a startup anyways. I don't know if it will apply to people that are building a traditional small business.
Man, you smart, dude.
I try, man. I learned it every day.
I learned a lot from you today. So I guess this is my last question, man. So what does success mean to you?
What does success mean to me? It's really seeing that I crossed the finish line with Bookt, and that means like having a ton of I was about to come to that. That means like having a ton of people whom hosting events is their passion. See Bookt as the go-to for the events, right? That includes like nationwide presence, global presence, and of course like us now looking into other verticals of the market, right? That's kind of like what success looks like for us.
So I guess tell everybody where we can find you, where we can find Bookt, anything that's new that's coming out. Let them know.
Find Bookt on get.bookt on Instagram. We're building a following. We'd love to have you, see what we're doing. Reach out to our customer support if you want to start leveraging our platform. I might respond, or I most likely would be one of those people that would like reach out to. I don't play with that. My personal BVNK_official. Things that we're working on. We're always working on something new every day. We're shipping because we have a CI/CD deployment process. Like we're literally shipping every day. But I think an interesting one, if I'm about to think, is like what can I think of now? It's like expansion. I think we're going to be going into Canada this year, and maybe
Australia.
No, Australia is not yet. Canada this year, and then maybe Nigeria. It's something that we're already planning. So depending on when you're watching this, it might have happened.
Right, already.
Or just very close to happening. Yeah.
But appreciate you, Kolade, man.
Sure, man.
Really
Thanks for having me, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I appreciate it.
On a short time notice too. I do this for real,
I appreciate you, G.
Yes, sir.
All right, so everybody go follow Kolade, download Ziga, try it out, and